What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Leave It to the Judges MMA show. I'm with the boys, Nick and Xavier. And today, guys, we are going to be previewing UFC Seattle, Pyfer versus Adesanya. The last style bender is back, guys. One of the GOATs in MMA in general, maybe the best 185er ever. But, guys, he's on a bit of a skid. I believe he is 1-3 in his last four. Now, that is to really good competition, but he's up against Joe Pyfer, young up and comer, who's had some issues of his own. He's on a bit of a hot streak. What is the biggest story going into Saturday, guys?
I think that there's two different narratives going at the same time. One is of course, sad, but we need to question it. Is Izzy washed? Narrative. And the other is just like, how good is Joe Pyfer? You know what I mean? I think that there's just two separate narratives going. I think Joe Pyfer can, even in a loss, potentially look solid here and still like show that he can hang with one of the best 185ers of all time. Whereas like I think that for Izzy, the only way I see him losing this fight, honestly, is if he gets boomed. So that would be kind of catastrophic for him going forward in terms of like, is it just time to hang it up? Or like other questions of that nature, you know what I mean? So those are the two storylines to me.
Yeah, I would say one being like, is this a passing of the torch kind of fight for sure? Um, and it's definitely does Adesanya still have it, you know? I think the last few fights he has looked good in the losses. He's just gotten finished. But can he continue to look that good? Because he's just getting older. You know, the speed continues to go down. I feel like that's why he's getting knocked down more. I think the lateral movement probably has gotten a little slower. So I think that's in question in this fight because if he does get boomed by Joe Pyfer or even lose a decision, I could see this being a very close 5 round fight, honestly. It's kind of over, I would say, or at least like I mean, I feel like Izzy's not the one to like stay around and like fight these lower ranked guys, really. I mean, maybe he will for a little bit, but it to me almost seems like a fight to keep the hunger in for the belt to me. After this, I don't know if he'll be motivated enough to fight again, honestly.
Yeah, Izzy's still a big name in the sport, but he has not gotten a win since 2023. Piper's on a three-fight winning streak here. Like, and Piper's really low. He's number 14. This is 14 versus 4. So, like, the UFC is clearly trying to do something here. How do you guys see this fight going down? Like, Piper is a well-rounded guy. He showed he has really crazy power, and he definitely can grapple as a submission game, and we don't exactly know where Izzy's at right now. How do you guys see the actual fight going?
I'm gonna still believe in my boy Izzy. While he is on the skid here, like one, look at who the skid is against. Only the top of the division. And two, in most of those fights, the DDP fight and the Imanov fight, he was doing really good before he got caught. So it's not like when I've been watching Izzy, I'm like he's not the same guy or like anything. I just think that his chin is just the only question mark I have. Maybe a little bit about like the reflexes at this point, just because the way he fights, like very reflex dependent, I would say. Even though technical, but like, he's always had like Matrix level, dodges and slips. And maybe with age, he's a little bit more hittable. Um, but I would say for the most part, that's not really what I've seen in there. I've just seen that if he does get clipped with the wrong punch, it can be kind of catastrophic these days. And Joe Pyfer hits really hard. But Joe Pyfer also has a tendency to slow down in three rounders. Um, pretty significantly, I would say. And a couple years ago, he was outstruck by Jack Hermanson on the feet after having some early success. So the way I'm looking at this fight is like if Pyfer can't land a bomb within rounds one or two, I think Izzy 3, 4, 5 gonna pick him apart and maybe even finish him. Just because like if Pyfer, I'm sure that like, in like the last 2 years, he's like improved a decent amount in the striking, but I don't think you can improve enough in 2 years to go from losing to Hermanson on defeat to losing to beating Izzy over 5 round striking. You know what I mean? That's kind of ridiculous. Um, and I think that Pyfer just gets very susceptible when he's gassed. And I think that Izzy should be able to like maybe even find a kill shot, but at least convincingly show that like he's still here. And he's still one of the best 185ers in the world. So I just think that like either Pyfer booms him in rounds one or two when he's fresh, or Izzy gets a fifth round TKO and or unanimous decision. Very clear down the stretch.
I definitely wrestled over this one, but I am going Adesanya. I do think in those fights he was looking very good until it didn't. And that's my only concern in this fight because Joe can move well, he is athletic, and he can boom. And he does, I mean, he's a big boy too, long reach. It's concerning, and I even feel like this could be kind of a war kind of fight I could see. But I do think Izzy, skill for skill wise, is just the better fighter. I don't think the wrestling and grappling will come into play that much overall. And I just look at Pyfer's record or his resume. He coming off a sub win of Zabus. We got Calvin Gastelum, Mark Andre Barrio, Abdul El Hassa, and Gerald Mearshar. Like, I mean, this seems like a massive step up. He's looked good, but like he lost to Manson. I I did feel like, and that is the issue with him. Can he go 5 rounds? Is he can definitely push a pace. I do think he was gassing a little in that DDP fight though, but I'm confident Izzy can outwork him here in a 5 round affair. And I think that's what he's gonna do. I think he's just the better skilled guy, but I think Joe just being young and explosive does like lean well here for him.
Yeah, it's definitely a close fight. The odds are it's basically a pick 'em, but I'm gonna lean Izzy also. I think by decision, unanimous decision. I think Piper's biggest threat to Izzy is actually his grappling. He showed it in his last fight, especially. And like you guys said, he's just a big fuck. He can hit really hard, but he's also just a big dude. And I feel like Izzy might struggle with his power on the ground a little bit, but I just don't think he's as good as a grappler as DDP. He's not as good as a striker as Imanov, and those are the guys that gave Izzy issues in the past. I think he's leaps and bounds ahead of Pyfer on the feet if he's locked in, which hopefully he is. Like you mentioned, Xavier, he kind of gets tired throughout 3 round fights, and he does a lot of staring towards the end of the fight. So it's just specifically, I'm thinking a lot of the Kelvin Gastelum fight. He did a lot of staring towards the end of that fight when he was dominating in the beginning of that. So I think Izzy is going to coast here to a decision.
If he survives early, I think.
Yeah, if he survives early, survives the storm, survives a big shot or a submission attempt, I think he'll dominate the fourth and fifth round and get a decision here.
I,
Piper, so go ahead.
I honestly think that like trying to over grapple Izzy would be a mistake because I mean you have to think like Izzy's been working on defensive grappling since he started even thinking about training MMA, you know what I mean? And he's had a long career where like, Yeah, he went down a couple of times, but like that's never been like a narrative where you can just easily hold Yuri down. I mean, easily hold Izzy down in his career if you're like not like a big fuck like a Jan Blachowicz. He's the only fighter that really like was able to smother Izzy and hold him down for significant periods of time. Like Izzy is gonna even if he goes down, I think he can scramble, roll around, and like shrimp and get to his like get back up and shit, or just make like taking him down just not worth the energy, especially for a guy like Pyfer. Because if he can't finish him on the ground and he grapples a bunch, I think a lot of staring and getting calf kicked and shit is gonna happen like round three, four, and five. So like I think that his best path would be just trying to catch him early while he's fresh. Because if he tries to try to wrestle him and just hold him down. I just think that that could be a misuse of his energy.
He got Sean Brady in his corner, bro. He's definitely gonna tell him to grapple. Those Philly boys.
Oh gosh.
Those Philly boys. And oh, but Nick, you also made a really good point. I was gonna bring up Pfeiffer's resume is not that great. Like it's not like he doesn't have that big win yet. He hasn't like killed off a prospect or anything like that. His main attraction is just his physical attributes, in my opinion. Like he's very intimidating physically. He's really big for 185. He has the power and athleticism. But like he's fumbled before too. It just I hate going back to this, but like where's Izzy at? Where is Adesanya at? It's been over a year since he's fought. So I'm sure he's physically fine. It's just mentally. We'll see. We'll see.
I expect him to be locked in, man. I think that he knows that he doesn't have too many more of these left, and he also is a fighter that's not like so. Um, I think he is a martial artist, and he just cares more about like his own martial arts growth. Like he even said that like getting a sub would be like cooler than getting the belt. And while like on the surface, like that's like what is he? What are you talking about? But I think just like he's just more content with like his own growth and development as a martial artist. And I think that when you have that mindset, it's pretty easy to like detach yourself from like your wins and losses more so. You know what I mean? I don't think he's like a fighter that's like so in his head about like, oh my God, I keep losing, and you know what I mean? Like, I think he's just kind of like, I've already proven what I needed to prove, and like, this is like the Jordan Wizards era, you know what I mean? Or current LeBron, where it's just like, this is just sprinkle on top, you know what I mean? Like, this doesn't take like these losses don't take anything away from like how I view Izzy, especially because he like looks good in them. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Yeah. So on Piper's side, if he wins, he obviously probably jumps into the top five as a big name. If he loses, it's whatever. It's too early. I don't think anyone's gonna shit on too hard. Like you just said, if Izzy loses, it's whatever, man. He was arguably the middleweight goat. No one cares if he loses. What does Izzy have to gain in this fight if he gets an impressive win? Because he's still in the top five. He's still a huge name. Hamzat's a champ who's a guy who's never fought. People always wanted to see that. What does Izzy have to gain here with an impressive dub?
I don't think that he's like a title shot is like coming his way as long as Chimaev is the champion, just because I just don't think it's a favorable matchup for him. But like, let's just say like for example, he gets an impressive win here, and then Sean Strickland somehow pulls off a miracle. You get what I'm saying? And then it's like, damn. Do they run that back? Like, is he? He's been winning that fight back. Either way, let's say Sean loses, I think that they might give Izzy the Sean rematch because he wants it. You know what I mean? Like, why not? I can see Sean Strickland and Izzy's future one way or another if he gets a win here.
Yeah, facts. I think Izzy would be right in there for a title shot. I think he's just one of the most popular champions to ever come in the UFC. He's up there, I would say, in popularity. And so I feel like, especially if Sean wins, now Sean has about like, let me calculate real quick, a 0% chance to win that night, but
I would give him like five.
that is, I gave DDP five.
That's you said DDP was gonna win that. Fuck you. Don't lie. Don't be fucking.
I'm saying
Oh,
right now,
okay, okay,
today.
okay, okay, okay.
He has five. Everybody else has about zero. I think I gave Ohio like 1.5.
1.5 is crazy.
But anyway, he'd be right there. I mean, probably have to win one more fight, probably, but basically there. And he can, I mean, he could beat like a Brendan Allen in the top five right now kind of fighter. Or honestly, it would be cool if they ran him and DDP back. I'd be down for the rematch.
Right. All right, boys. Well, let's move on to the co-main event. We have number three women's flyweight Alexa Grasso versus number five Macy Barber. I believe this is a rematch.
It is.
Grasso got the first one. What were your guys' thoughts on this co-main?
I
And
remember.
Macy's back and better. Macy's back and better, man. Macy was young as hell, I think, when this first fight happened.
Yeah. Bro, I remember this first fight. We were watching it down in the good old pit, bro. Or like game room, I believe.
Fuck yeah.
I don't even I want to say this is the Izzy Blahovic card.
See what year they fought.
I want to say it was that card specific.
2021.
Maybe it was the Usman Burns. I don't know, but I remember the first fight.
What event was it? Did you see it?
No, but I think it was Usman Burns because it was in February.
That
That's
makes
dope.
sense. And what from what I remember, like Macy was super young in that fight. I think she was like I wouldn't say a massive favorite, but that's before we all knew like about Grasso and whatnot. And I don't really remember the fight too much. I kind of remember Grasso just kind of beating her everywhere. From what I recall, I believe she took her down at one point. She kind of just outstruck her, but that was Macy very young. Right now, they both have improved massively, though. Like Grasso is the champion, beat Shevchenko, almost got a shameless victory in the second fight. So, she is on a two fight skid right now. But I will say, I think it's a tough fight for Macy. Like, I think, because I don't see Macy like, maybe she can like try to size Mauger because she is the bigger fighter in there and like push her against the fence. Because I do think there's like question marks about Grasso's wrestling and grappling a little bit. So I
Definitely.
do. Yeah, so I think that's something Macy can do, but I just never see her do that. And I just don't know if I don't know if she's good enough on the feet to be Grasso. She might be, but it's like Grasso's last two losses were to Silva and Shevchenko. So it's like Grasso's already kind of been there and done that. And Macy is definitely the contender. I don't know. It's a toss. I think it's honestly a toss up, but I think I'm leaning Grasso, honestly. AC been hella inactive too.
I'm only leaning Barber just because of momentum. I
Right.
don't really like have a really good reason to be honest. I don't love what I've seen from Grasso recently. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Barber. I think it should be a decent fight though.
I'm leaning Barber again, more like pretty much like what you said, Ed. I just think that like the Grasso that I've seen over the last two fights, like it just seems like she's a little bit less hungry in there, you know. I think she kind of feels pretty like been there, done that, um, about like actually getting the title and shit. Like I could be wrong, you know. It could be just like weight cut shit or personal shit. Like, you know, we never know the full story when these fighters go into the cage. They are human beings. They do have other shit going on. You know what I mean? But like she could come out and look like better than ever in this fight. But I will say, like, I have been impressed with Macy's like resurgence. Like recently, and I just think that like she's shown power with the hands. She's shown like an ability to smother grapple, and I could just see like you said, I could see a lot of like against the cage pressure, just like size mogging her a little bit, And even though like I think that like she's not gonna run away with this fight one way or another. Um, but I think that like even if it's really close, they might just like for the interest of pushing her and because she's hot, they might just be like, fuck it, like just run it, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Oh,
Like
for
the
sure.
UFC privilege. Plus they've been trying to get some American fighters to be like, you know, at the top of these divisions. Like they're very conscious of the fact that we've been getting our ass kicked in America for a minute in MMA.
Like, she just had that like heart issue, so it's good. It's cool to see her make a bounce back.
But she had a heart issue.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I
Yeah.
remember that. Yeah.
All right, go guys. Let's move to welterweight. Believe it or not, guys, Michael Chiesa is riding a three-fight winning streak going into Saturday, taking on Nico Price, who is, let me see his last couple.
I think he's coming off an L.
I
It's
think
not pretty.
he's coming off a three-fight losing
Yeah,
streak.
it's not pretty for Nico. I'm already knowing.
So, like, I guess we have to talk about this fight. Is Michael Chiesa making a late career title push here, guys?
No, I think this is actually Chiesa's like retirement fight. Um,
Okay.
I don't know if he's like from Seattle, but I think he is. That
Yes.
might be like that might be like why he's like this high up on the card, just to showcase him one last time. You know what I mean? I think that if it wasn't his retirement fight, like there's no way that like this fight would be placed where it is. But I mean, Chiesa has been a dog, you know, for a long time now in the UFC. Good vet, scrappy vet, good grappling. I think his grappling should be more than enough to probably sub Nico Price on his way out. I think he probably makes his fight look pretty easy as long as he gets it to the ground pretty quickly. Um, Nico Price, you know, he a brawler in there. Not the most technical guy by any stretch. And he could potentially chin Chiesa, but like I don't really see it happening, especially like this being his finishing fight, his finale fight to his career. Like I think he's gonna want to go out, get a sub, and you know, ride off into the sunset with a win. So give me Chiesa here. And hats off on a hell of a career, man. I just want to show him respect. I fuck with him. I've won money betting on him a lot of times to sub people up. And his ground game is nasty, man. So should be more than enough to beat Nico Price.
Yeah, shout out Chiesa. It is his hometown. I believe he grew up in Spokane, I believe.
Washington?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
So that would make sense. I didn't know it was his last fight, but hats off to him. Had a pretty good career. And he'll finish off with a dub here because Nico Price,
His ass.
everything I've seen in the last three fights has looked like dog water. In one of those fights, he also lost to, what was it, 45-year-old Robbie Lawler at the time, however old he was in that fight. So I think he is he's just gonna get the takedowns, I think, pretty handily. Probably
Uh,
stop him up early. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, my bad about that joke. I didn't know it was his retirement fight. Shout out to him.
no, it's okay.
All good.
He's an OG.
He's an OG.
But I mean, we could just bounce around now. I don't know why the main card is six fights actually. I feel like they've been doing that more recently. Uh,
Shout out
it-
Terrence McKinney versus Kyle Nelson.
I was about to say we should talk that. That's a fire fight.
Like
That's a sick fight.
I
McKinney's
I
always in bangers.
I think that I expect McKinney to probably boom Nelson in typical McKinney fashion, but again, like if the fight lasts more than like around it like maybe like even a half a round, bro. Like Terrence McKinney is always liable to just get fucking finished. So I will be hammering the under 2.5 on this fight one way or another.
Yeah, I think this is an automatic finish. I think Kyle Nelson, I think he's been boomed a few times in his career. I always pick him wrong though. I pick against him every time and he dubs against me. I think I picked him last time and he L'd. See, I hate these kind of bugs. Same with Bilal's ass, like same deal. So,
T-Rex is the same way. He's the same way.
and like, it's gonna go either way. Either McKinney gonna go out there. I do think McKinney is the more skilled guy, but we just know what Terrence McKinney gonna bring in a fight. Like, he's a die on the sword kind of fighter.
Every
I,
time.
I don't think he's gonna change at all. I think he's gonna do the same thing. But I think he's good enough to get Kyle Nelson out of there. Honestly, I
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. We can start a new one.
Bet.
yeah.
All right, guys. I guess we can move to the prelims. The prelims actually do have some pretty decent names and fights on here. We start with this Bahamundez fight versus Musayev. That's a pretty good fight.
I mean, Musayev, like, he only like lost to Urabai, no?
I
Like he
think
has,
that's his only fight. Yeah,
yeah. I think Urabai subbed him out. Let me check. Yeah, round one. So I mean, I don't really know too much about him, really. Um, and Bahamundez, of course, coming off that loss to Fiziev, but before that, he was like on a pretty good, decent win streak. Um, so yeah, decent little scrap. Hopefully, I think that like this might be just to get Bahamundez back, like on a winning track here.
yeah,
I don't know if they're gonna. I doubt the UFC is trying to promote this other guy. I think that they just want Musayev to get. I mean, they want Bahamundez to get a win here, and I expect him to get back on track. Shout out Chase Hooper also on this card, bro. Like coming off that tough loss to Hernandez when he got boomed, but before that he was on like a what fat winning streak, honestly. He's been looking a lot better with the striking and shit. He's been coming into his grown man body, getting grown man strength and shit, like, and it's helped his grappling look a lot more like sustainable. Where it's like before it kind of looked like all technique and no physicality. Where it's like he would rely on his opponents being like shit grapplers basically, and then he'd like win and dominate. But now I think he can like impose his will a little bit more, land some more devastating ground and pound, and like open up the subs for himself. So shout out to him. I'm excited to see him back in there. Uh and then this Gibson Jr. guy he's fighting is coming off that loss to King Green. That's his only UFC fight. So I mean King Green is like a upper tier unranked fighter. So losing to him by split decision is not like the worst thing in the world. So let's see what he's got, man. Let's see what he's got.
That should be a good one. Shout out my boy Navajo Sterling.
Bro.
I think he does work here. I like Bruno Lopez, but I think he coming off a TKO loss, if I'm not mistaken.
To Jacoby. So
Yeah, I think Navajo can just like piece him up a little bit, do his thing. And shout out, hopefully, Ricky Simone. I like making fun of Yanez because he decided to talk shit about O'Malley years ago. And I saw the basic game plan that Yanez always put out there. Like, we're going to do some simple boxing, not check any leg kicks, do nothing to improve. I believe he's been out for like
a minute it feels like.
a year and a half, I want to say. Since
Damn.
I fought. I think he's coming off a win though, but
Oh no, no, he's coming off a loss to Daniel Marcos, I think.
oh yeah. Forgot about that fight.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah,
of
Giannis is like 1-3 in his last four, and like it felt like once the competition became good, I knew his fraud status would get exposed. But this will be a good fight because Ricky Simone a little older, you
he.
know.
You don't know what you're gonna get these days from Simone, man. He was once a little tornado in there, but sometimes like he doesn't wrestle a lot. Sometimes he does. Like I don't know if like I don't know who he trains with, but like the IQ has like always been what's held him back to me.
Yeah,
A bit of Michael Chandler in him. Like, he can be in some good scraps, but like when it matters most, he just like makes bad decisions, I think.
I agree. I do think he should win this though, just because I think he just has more than unless Giannis like proves me wrong for once and actually shows me more than just a little boxing combo, then I will have a different opinion about this fight. But I think Simone could wrestle him. He's the bigger man too, honestly. I think he could just size mog him, do whatever, really. If it's on the feet the whole time, though, I do think it's a somewhat close fight. Giannis can box, that's all he can do, but he'll make it close with that.
I think on the feet, like Giannis probably has the technical advantage, but Simone has the power advantage. Like I could see like Simone landing a bomb on Giannis or like having like just the bigger strikes, like getting outstruck, but like when he hits Giannis a couple of times, it like really wobbles him or something, or like you know what I mean? Winning rounds off that, like winning rounds off damage, not really like numbers. But I could also just see like Simone just having a big physicality advantage and just like smothering him against the cage, taking him down, and just like having a more like dirty kind of muck it up game plan. I think that's his best path. Is just to like get in his face and like make it less technical, make it more of a scrap, and I think that he comes out on top. So I'm with you. I think I'm gonna predict Simone, but like I could see if like again like Ricky Simone, you don't really know what you're gonna get with him. He's a little older and he has been through some wars, so like. Yanez is not like out of this fight for sure.
Most definitely. I just hope Giannis, like, taking a year and a half off shows me something else, like anything. That's all I hope for.
All right. And then
Shout
finally, do you guys want oh, go on.
shout out my girl Alexia Thayanara too as well. Like gonna get a dub, man. Gonna get a dub over Bruno Brazil here to open up the car. I love it.
Yeah, probably
I love
pretty easily.
I love it.
Could you guys give me a performance and a fight of the night prediction?
Fight of the performance bonus, whoever wins the Terrence McKinney Kyle Nelson fight, because it will be violent probably. And fight of the night, I could honestly see if it goes long, Izzy Pyfer, man. I could see Izzy Pyfer scrapping just because they have 5 rounds to like have a lot of like big moments throughout. Um, and if it goes long, I would assume it's kind of back and forth because I don't think Izzy survives if Pyfer's having his way and if like Pyfer doesn't have some early success, I think Izzy would just get him out of there. Like he can't survive 5 rounds of one-way traffic, so I can just see that being like like a fight where both people have moments, but like it goes kind of long and makes it like fight of the night worthy.
I like that. I'm gonna go performance of the night. Michael Chiesa. I think he just subs him up right away.
Facts.
And then fight of the night, I'm just Terrence McKinney Nelson. I mean, I think it's just gonna be a bloodbath. Both guys are gonna get hit. Just technique out the window. Like we're just gonna be swinging like we're
Swing.
in a bar. Like I could just see it already.
Facts.
So that's gonna be crazy.
Fight
What
of the
about
night. I'll go with the main event. I hope it's a good fight. I hope it's not the end for Izzy. And then performance, I'll go with Bahamundez. Like we said, it seems to be a layup fight for him, and he's pretty exciting and dynamic, and I fuck with him. So I hope he gets a nice dub.
Oh, yeah.
All right, though. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We got plenty of stuff coming out in the future. Please go check out the TikTok, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.
peace?